Hi, thank you for joining me again today. And as I mentioned on Tuesday's video, if you watched that video, this is actually a companion page to go with the process video and layout I created Tuesday. So it's two more photos from our trip to Epinay in France, and it's the kids underneath the foxglove tree and then James stuffing foxglove flowers into his pockets. So I'm using some Vicky Boutin Foundations paper that today. I rediscovered it on my shelf and thought it would be a good idea to use it. So once again, I'm using my shimmers in Honeymoon to bring that lilac colour in, and I will be using the Simple Stories Wildflower collection once again. So you will have seen I've got two 3x4 photos. I've overlapped them and stuck them down with double-sided tape, and I drew around them with my pencil. And now I'm just going in with the shimmers and creating my mixed media background. So I just wanted to bring that purple into the top of the photo and then the pink, which is Pinko de Mayo, into the bottom. The pink is shimmers and the purple is an Inklings paint. So the purple needs to be activated with water where the shimmers is already in a liquid form. So I just water that down slightly. So just spreading that around the edges of where the photo is going to go and then adding some splatters. And now that's done, I've repositioned my photos where they're going to go, and I'm just going to create some layers, almost like a shelf, to put those photos on. So I start with this beautiful pink paper which I've torn, and then this yellow one which I shall layer underneath, and then I shall use the reverse of that yellow one because it's got some beautiful pink butterflies on. So I take advantage of the already torn edge and just trim that off, and that will go underneath again. And as you can see, once I position that, it more or less covers up all of my mixed media. So I will remedy that in due course. So just deciding whether I wanted to offset those strips or have them straight across the page, and I decided on balance that I like the shape of them straight across the page, going fully from left to right. So I'll stick the first piece down with some double-sided tape just for ease and speed, and then the rest I'll use my wet glue because I find it much easier to slip them under and get them in position. If I use double-sided tape, it's sort of a one and done. You don't really get the chance to move things around. So just bring in my T-square ruler to make sure that that piece is straight before I go in with the rest of them, and then, as you can see, using my wet glue just to get these positioned underneath that strip. And I love this mixture of colours. This collection is absolutely beautiful, perfect for outdoor photos like this. And because Amelia's got that pink coat on, it works really nicely. And as I said in Tuesday, if you watch Tuesday's video, I'm bringing some purples in, some lilacs in, because that's the colour of the foxgloves that the kids were collecting. And that colour isn't actually in this collection, so I just wanted to bring that in. So now I wanted to create a scallop border to tuck underneath those photos. I'm using this beautiful cream with blue flowers on. So just on the reverse of that paper, I'm using my shimmers pot to draw the scallops, and then I shall cut that out with my scissors, just cutting it as a rough strip first and then cutting around my pencil marks. I won't make you watch all of that. So that's that done, and that's just going to sit under there. I'm just roughing up the edges. I shall use my Tim Holtz edge distresser, again just going around each of the scallops. I won't make you watch, but just to get a slight texture going on those. Just checking that I'm happy with the positioning, and then I can stick that down. Again, using my wet glue. And then once that's down, I can get the photos down and start embellishing. So I'm going to mount those photos onto some Sticks to foam pads just to raise them up off the page. These are the 25mm foam pads that are sold on a roll. Absolutely fantastic and really easy to use. I do love those. And here I am realising that that paper goes down a little bit too low and just covers up a bit too much of that beautiful mixed media that I've added to the base page. So just tearing some strips off the bottom, just to let that show a little bit more. And then I can stick those photos down. And once these are down, I'm going to go in with some embellishing. So I start with the foam stickers, just checking that everything's straight again. that T-square ruler is brilliant for that. So that Yep piece that I've moved to the right hand side is from the printables from Hey Little Magpie. These are downloadable, or you can buy the physical product, and they're absolutely brilliant for adding bits and pieces. They've got labels and circles on them. The ampersand I really like from the foam stickers, along with a couple more bits. I use this strip that says Live Simply and some of the blue flowers, which I will add to that right hand side. Just there. I'm just keeping them on the backing for now while I decide exactly where everything's going to go. So I just cut them off the sheet. That Smile Flair badge is a new one from Hey Little Magpie. We now do Canvas Flair. So that's one of the Canvas Flair there. And that label that I've added to the right hand side is also from the printables. Do have a look at them. Like I say, they're downloadable PDFs, or you can buy them as physical products. So great if you're international, because you can just buy the PDF and print off as many as you need. And I've created them all to match the collections. So this is the Wildflower collection that I'm using. So going in with the sticker book now, and I've added a little tab to the top of the photo, which I will add my date to in due course, and another label sticker to the left hand side. I've got one of the printables underneath the Flair badge and the ampersand, and just working out where to put everything. So I'm coming in with some tangled thread. I did this on Tuesday, so I wanted to match on this companion page. So just adding that underneath that Flair badge, and then positioning that foam sticker back on the side there. So that Flair badge can be stuck down now. And that foam is perfect. It's just, the edge is just catching the edge of that Flair badge, so it sits really nicely across there. So now I'm just adding some more bits and pieces, some of the printable circles, and I'm adding an epoxy Flair button, the naked epoxy Flair that we sell at Hey Little Magpie, onto that, just to create another different texture in that cluster in the bottom left hand corner there. And then the same on the right here. I think about using this navy star, but decide against it and change to something else. So first of all, I'm going to stick down these labels that I've put there from the printables. Just getting those glued down. And that just creates a nice map for some other bits and pieces. So this Yep, I am going to add another epoxy button onto the top. And then those beautiful blue foam flowers are being added there. So here's that epoxy. And that's just a nod to what James is doing, because he used to put, he's like a little magpie, he used to put everything in his pockets. Apparently I was exactly the same as a child too, but he just thought these flowers were so pretty, he really wanted to collect them and keep them. So coming in now with the Doodlebug puffy alphabets, and just spelling out the word Epinay, which is where we were, and then adding some journaling. And my journaling just reads, this beautiful park at the town hall in Epinay had the most beautiful foxglove tree, and the blossoms had started to fall. You both set to gathering them up, James stuffing them into his pockets to keep. And now I'm going to embellish around that journaling with some of the sticker leaves from the sticker book, just to extend that out. Again, I want this to flow from the top to the bottom, so and spreading out in the middle. So I'm just adding some bits to the bottom, and then I shall add some bits to the top as well. And that flower I've just taken off the page, so trim the excess off. And then I'm just looking for some other little bits to sprinkle around that. And as I say, something to add at the top of the page as well. Some little flowers that just bring everything together at the bottom of the page there. Just in that mustard colour again. And that just ties everything together nicely down there. I find a couple of word phrases that I want to use. The one at the top that I'm just popping on now says still smiling. And then I find one that I put to the left that says a golden moment. And another one on the right that says enjoy simplicity. We'd been to Disneyland in Paris before we drove across to Epinay, So it was quite nice to be away from the busyness of all the rides and things. So that Enjoy Simplicity is perfect. So just use my date stamp to add the date at the top there, as I mentioned, onto that tab. And then this beautiful coloured butterfly, moth from the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. There's a little heart there from the sticker sheet as well that I've added to that cluster. And some more of those blue flowers. I come in with another one of the printable circles. This flower, which works really nicely in that corner there. And then just a few more little bits to finish off. One of these padded hearts that we've started selling at Hey Little Magpie. Again, bringing in that lilac to the top there. And then some of these beautiful little embroidered flowers. Just two, one in pink, one in purple again. So adding the pink to the right hand side where it's predominantly pink, and the lilac to the left hand side. And that pretty much finishes it off. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this process video. I'm just trying to think if I did anything else. No, that's it. I shall see you again on Friday for Pink Fresh Friday. Thanks again. Bye.